It's time for the latest in National Park news. I'm Abby Epperson, coming to you from Albuquerque, New Mexico, home of Petroglyph National Monument, and this is RV Miles, where each week we share the latest in RV and camping news, and from time to time we focus directly on the national parks as a compendium to our America's National Parks podcast, which you can find on any podcast app. We begin this week at the White House, where President Biden restored the boundaries of Bears Ears and Grand Staircase Escalante National Monuments in southern Utah, and added protections for the Northeast Canyons and Seamounts National Monuments on Friday. Bears Ears National Monument, which was created by President Obama, was reduced by President Trump by 85%. Grand Staircase was reduced by 50%. The Bears Ears land is considered sacred to several native tribes, but the state of Utah feels the amount of land preserved was an overreach and excessive and would be better used for recreation and mining. In what is becoming a monthly trend in Yellowstone National Park, visitation once again set a record high as over 921,000 people explored the park in August. Prior to 2021, the busiest August on record was 2017, the year of the solar eclipse, with 916,000. This year alone, the park has hosted 3.5 million visitors, up 40% from last year. And according to park officials, even with winter setting in, the park is showing no real signs of slowing down and is on track for 2021 to be the busiest year in the park's history. Reservations are no longer required to enter Yosemite National Park. The change began October 1st as the park inches closer to the winter season. However, that doesn't mean entering the park will be a breeze. According to park officials, visitors should continue to expect wait times of up to 2 hours at the gate and is encouraging everyone to arrive before mid-morning, especially on weekends. Yosemite continues to see significant staff shortages, causing campground closures, along with suspended bus tours and shuttles. No word yet on when or if the park will resume the reservation system during peak travel season, which usually begins late spring, early summer. According to a report from USA Today, hundreds of giant sequoias in Sequoia National Park may have perished after the K&P complex fire tore through Redwood Mountain Grove. Severe fire blazed through the grove earlier this week, spawning a massive fire cloud that generated 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts and blew singed sequoia needles to neighboring Sequoia National Forest. Prior to the fire's arrival, park scientists identified 400 sequoias in the grove as high risk due to an abundance of dead trees in the area and the steep uphill terrain. According to experts, conditions in the grove have resulted in blazes capable of mortally wounding the famed giants. Firefighters have gone to extraordinary lengths to save the big trees, including wrapping the base of the world's largest tree, General Sherman, in a fire-resistant wrap. The K&P complex fire, which ignited after a lightning storm on September 9th, is currently 20% contained and has burned over 85,000 acres. Kentucky's Mammoth Cave, the longest known cave in the world, is now 8 miles longer thanks to the Cave Research Foundation. Comprised solely of volunteers, the Cave Research Foundation has been assisting the park with survey work for over 60 years. And according to the park's cave resource management specialist, is fundamentally the reason that Mammoth Cave is recognized as the world's longest cave, saying, "Without CRF exploration and mapping, Mammoth Cave would potentially still be a 44-mile-long cave system." The new 8-mile addition brings the total number of passageways mapped to an astounding 420 miles. New scientific research conducted at White Sands National Park has uncovered the oldest known human footprints in North America. The discovery reveals evidence of human occupation in the Tularosa Basin beginning at least 23,000 years ago, thousands of years earlier than previously thought. The fossilized human footprints, believed to be mostly children and teenagers, were buried in multiple layers of gypsum soil on a large playa inside the park. Seeds embedded in the footprints were radiocarbon dated and analyzed by the U.S. Geological Survey to establish their age. The date would place human habitation in the Americas during the last glacial maximum, when much of North America was covered in an ice sheet. This new information places humans in White Sands at least 5,000 years earlier than widely accepted evidence suggested. A 20-year-old woman from Washington state suffered significant thermal burns from her shoulders to feet on October 4th in Yellowstone National Park. The unidentified woman was attempting to save her dog, who had jumped out of the car and into the Maiden's Grave Spring near the Firehole River. The fragile, thin ground of the hydrothermal area gave way, burning both the woman and the dog. The woman's father was able to pull them both out of the feature and drive the party to West Yellowstone, Montana. The dog, unfortunately, did not survive. However, the woman is expected to make a full recovery. The temperature of Maiden's Grave Spring is 200 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the second significant injury in a thermal area in 2021. The first occurred just last month at Old Faithful. More grim news out of Yellowstone as the park reports 3 wolves from the famous Junction Butte pack were killed just outside the park's northern range during the first week of Montana's hunting season. Recent state changes have lifted certain hunting and trapping restrictions, making the park's wolf population in the northern range more vulnerable. Yellowstone wolves, including the 27 wolves that make up the Junction Butte pack, spend an estimated 5% of the time outside the park, usually in late fall. Park officials say they will continue to work with the state of Montana on quotas that would protect the core wolf population in Yellowstone, as well as Montana's direct economic interests derived from the hundreds of millions spent by park visitors each year, many of whom come to see the Junction Butte pack. The Junction Butte pack formed in 2012 in the northern section of the park. They den within view of the northeast entrance road and the road to Slough Creek Campground, making them the most viewed wolf pack in the world. The pack had 8 pups in 2021. Finally, Glen Canyon National Recreation Ranger Zachary Stunkel, hope I'm saying that correctly, received a citation for valor from Secretary of the Interior Deb Haaland in recognition of his courageous actions saving the life of a woman trapped under a capsized boat on Lake Powell. During a thunderstorm on June 29, 2020, Zachary battled swells approximately 3 feet high and wind gusts between 20 and 30 miles per hour in a workboat to reach the scene of a vessel in distress. Upon arrival, rangers realized that a boater was missing and surmised that the person was trapped in the sinking vessel. Without hesitation, Zachary removed his duty gear, donned swim goggles, and entered the water. He discovered that she was trapped in the cabin and unable to free herself. He was able to pull her to safety, where she was treated for near drowning and hypothermia. The Citation of Valor Award celebrates the most prestigious recognition that can be granted by the Department of the Interior for career accomplishments, exceptional support of the department's mission, or for heroism. That's it for this episode of News from the Parks. We'd be so grateful if you'd hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we'll see you back here next week for another RV and camping news video. In the meantime, here's our video on our favorite parks for that big park experience without the crowds, and here's a video YouTube thinks you'll like.